Okay, good morning, and we are back here on KFYO Mornings at 7:44 with Dave King and Matt Martin, and we are broadcasting from the Thacker Jewelry Studio, custom jewelry, engagement rings, and more at thackerjewelry.com. And as promised this morning, we have our state representative, Mr. Jodey Arrington, here on line one on your radio. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Dave. Sometimes I think life would be easier and better if I were a state representative, because it'd be the great state of Texas instead of the swamp of D.C. But nevertheless, we're fighting for the kind of policies and values and principles that the great state of Texas believes in and governs with. And if we could do that, as I say, we won't make America great again. Make it run like Texas.
There you go.
It will be great again.
There you go. I agree with you. Well, Congressman, I'll tell you what. We are talking this morning about the Lubbock County judge race, and it's something we just mentioned. And I'm telling you, there seems to be a firestorm of people who hold interest in the Lubbock County judge race. And I don't know where you stand or if you're making any comments about it, but that seems to be the hot topic this morning.
Well, I just say I want the right guy to win.
Yeah.
But I always felt I got enough to. I have my own personal views on folks at the local level that I think there are plenty of good people that are running, and they have strengths and weaknesses. They got to sell it, just like I had my assets and liabilities, and you're trying to get the job. You're trying to convince people to public jobs. And public service is about trust and confidence. And if people trust you and have confidence that you can get the job done and that you'll do everything you can to do what's right by them and the community, then you can lead. But if you don't have it's all about trust and confidence. But that's what also politics in a campaign tries to distort sometimes without a lot of facts and truth. They want to skew the public's perception that you're not trustworthy and that they can't have confidence in you. So I'm loath on the politics of campaigning, but it's part of the process, and you just, pray we get good people, because this democracy works. It's the best we've got, but it breaks down if you get the wrong person in office. So it's important.
So, Congressman, we do want to talk about the Farm Bill. Apparently, it got kind of tanked by those that you wouldn't think would do it, by the Freedom Caucus.
Well, here's the thing, Matt. The Freedom Caucus usually votes against farm bills. I mean, let's be clear. There hasn't been a majority of Freedom Caucus support of farm bills since the Freedom Caucus, formed. But they support this farm bill, and we need their support to get a straight Republican vote to get it out of the House. And the reason they support it is not because of the ag policy component. It's because of the 85% of a farm bill, tens of billions of dollars, is supplemental nutrition assistance or food stamps. And the reforms we put in place to mandate that people who are able to work to receive government assistance is why they were brought on board. The reason they voted against it is because they're using the Farm Bill as leverage to get a vote on immigration,
which is a problem.
Yeah. Well, I don't like it. I don't want the Farm Bill to be held hostage to anything that's unrelated, and I don't want it to be used as leverage. But this is politics. I will say that I want to vote on immigration. I want the president to have the tools to secure the border and stop illegal immigration. I just think that the leadership had already committed to that, and they had told them, we will vote on it in June, gave them a specific date, and they just, there's just such trust issues there that they said it's not enough. We want to vote on it first. So that'll be worked out, Matt. I think we'll tee the same farm bill up this week or the week after, and we'll get this, I think we'll get it teed up this week and out the door and on to the Senate.
Okay, so the Senate apparently are trying to take all the work requirements out of it. Is that will the Senate be able to stop that from going through?
I think it's going to be a real problem. I have a problem with that. I think the president has expressed already in a statement that he won't sign a farm bill that doesn't have work requirements and a welfare to work reforms in place. Look, 80% of Americans believe that we need able-bodied folks to go to work to get food stamps. We're only talking 20 hours a week. So, and we also plow the savings back into workforce training and education to empower and equip these folks to get one of the 6 million plus surplus jobs we have in this country. So we'll see. I think that we won't get a bill to the president that he's going to sign if it doesn't have welfare to work reforms. I agree with the president. At the same time, the safety net is absolutely critical to an ag economy like West Texas. So it'll be interesting, but we don't want to just throw aside the opportunity to reform food stamps because we just want an easier path to a farm bill. We just need to press in and keep working it. I think the court of public opinion will move these Democrats to accepting mandatory work requirements because it's the right thing. People know
Congressman, is my memory faulty? We used to have mandatory work requirements, did we not?
You're right, Dave. We do on TANF, and they work well. We need to take the temporary assistance. This is the sort of cash assistance program, and it works. We also have work requirements. They're just so watered down that states can waive them for just about any reason. So they do waive them. So we have literally millions of people who we've seen a doubling of the food stamp rolls over the last 8 years, and we have millions of people who are able to work who are not working because we discourage work in our policies. We allow these mandatory requirements for work to be waived too easily. So we're just shoring those up so that they work as intended.
Okay. Well, Congressman, let's go ahead and take the break. That way we have a little bit of time afterwards, and
we'll be right back.
You got it.
Okay, we want to get right back to the phones this morning, Congressman. We only have just a few minutes, but I quickly want to, if you quickly answer this question for us, we've got others to get on. From the 778 prefix this morning, a texter says, how does the Congressman feel about the Farm Bill reducing conservation reserve acre payments dramatically? This will cause less landowners to participate, and this keeps the land in grass to avoid another Dust Bowl.
Well, I think we've actually, in some ways, extended or expanded the conservation programs. We also are doubling down on EQUIP, which is a conservation program that calls for skin in the game by landowners and producers. So I think it's a good thing. And I think with the Dust Bowl area that we represent, we understand the environmental challenges to the topsoil blowing, from Lubbock to Abilene. And so I support the reforms we put in place for the conservation programs. I think they're important.
Okay, Congressman, one thing that you're working on right now is a bill with term limits. I think it's a bipartisan bill right now. How is that going along?
Well, it's made... It's taken off with greater momentum now that the president is getting behind it. We made some changes after my meeting with the president. It went really well. He's enthusiastically supporting it. And now I'm getting phone calls from folks who want to co-sponsor the bill. And the one change we made was to the president's point. How are we going to get the existing members of Congress who've been there a while to vote on something that would cut their time short, et cetera, et cetera? Politically, how do we do that? We said, just start with our class and every class thereafter. So we included that in the bill. That way we can get it to a vote and we can begin phasing in, starting with my class, the limiting of terms for United States members of the United States Congress. That's the right thing to do.
So how many terms would you be looking at for congressmen? How many terms would you be looking at for senators?
Well, it's 6 2-year terms in the House, 2 6-year in the Senate.
So it's 12 both times.
I'm sorry?
12 years both ways?
12 years both ways.
Boy, that's plenty of time.
if you can't get what you wanted done in 12 years, you probably weren't the right person for the job.
Yeah, that's my view on that too. Well, Congressman, we've got just about a minute and a half, and we would like to kind of kick the door open for you. Matt, did you have anything else that's burning home? Well, kick the door open and let you do your elevator speech. Anything that you would like to impart to the fellow citizens here in West Texas?
Well, just that we're trying to get the government out of our lives and off our backs. We're tax reform after 30 years is starting to grow this economy. We need to build, especially in rural America, with a good farm bill. But we don't want to compromise the farm bill, getting good ag policies and not having work requirements. So we've got to restore the value, the dignity of work in this country. That's what made America great. And so we're going to lean into this, and we're going to keep working it. I think we'll prevail at the end of the day with a good farm bill, with that good ag policies, but also with changing that culture that where we can appreciate the work ethic that made the United States the great country that we are today.
Congressman, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you and all the work you do.
Thank you, my friend. God bless, and go West Texas.
You betcha.
Thank you.